In the previous class, we were discussed about the solar radiations, how this solar radiation is being measured, and the solar constant. And we have also studied the value of a solar constant. Before I just proceed with the other type of shading ring pyrheliometer, apart from this pyranometer, I just would like to define once again the solar constant. Solar constant in most of the occasions, since it is an important factor for deciding any power plants or using any solar radiations, solar constant is one of the major issues to be discussed. So in lieu of this, I just would like to define it once again. Solar constant is the amount of radiant energy or the amount of radiation that are reaching Earth's surface in a unit time in a unit area where this area is being maintained theoretically perpendicular. It cannot be exactly perpendicular. Practically, it is not possible, my dear friends. But still, theoretically, as much the area, unit area, which is perpendicular to the direction of the solar radiations. Is it clear? So that is what we call it as a solar constant. Is it clear? Now, in order to find out the solar radiations, what is the importance of for measuring the solar radiation is that now I was just talking about, since the geography of the Earth's surface is not just a plane, it is a spherical one thing, and second thing is it has got all the variations like water is there, the land is there, even in the land there are altitude, mountains are there. So we cannot expect the same amount of solar radiations to be touching the Earth's surface throughout. Is same. So what happens whenever you want to? I would like to give you one more example. Windmills, we cannot place it everywhere. We don't have a windmills in Haveri, but we have a windmills in Hospete. Why it is so? It is only because when you go for an analyzing the wind energy, the wind which blows in Hospete or in the belts of Chitradurga, it is more higher velocity compared to the wind which is just blowing in the Haveri. So that is the reason why they have got a big mountains also. They have placed it above the mountains in order to achieve that. Even in Huvinadagali, in the Huvinadagali outskirts also, windmills. Based on the geographical survey, they will keep it. So similarly, we have to make the availability of solar radiations where it is maximum and where it is minimum, where it is more and where it is less. It is only because to utilize the solar energy to convert into our useful secondary energy, that is an electrical energy. Is it clear? So that is the reason why we go for that. And with this context, actually, we have also discussed one of the instrument which has been popularly used in order to measure the solar radiation. It is the pyranometer. Basically, this pyranometer has got a few advantages and also it has got its own disadvantages. So let me talk about the other one, which is the shading pyrheliometer. The shadow of the ring, which is happens in the pyranometer, prevents the direct radiation from reaching the pyranometer, so that the shaded pyranometer measures a diffuse radiation only. Now you can see this sketch. Because of the enclosure over there, there will be a shadow which will be following onto this black body. So what he suggests is, since there is a shadow, whenever we say it is a shadow, the chances of getting the beam radiations or the direct radiations, what we say it, beam or a direct radiation is nothing but the radiations which are reaching to the Earth atmosphere without any scattering or deviations or reflections. That is what we call it as a beam or a direct radiations. Now, because of the shades which are happening in the pyranometer, whatever the radiation that it is measuring, it is only a diffuse radiation. That is a scattered or a reflected radiations only it is measuring it. So it is not measuring the beam radiations. Is that clear, my dear friends? So in order to overcome that, a pyrheliometer is an instrument which is being used for measuring the direct beam solar radiances. Is it clear? So even you can make one difference, the major difference between a pyranometer and pyrheliometer. The pyranometer which measures a diffuse radiation, whereas a pyrheliometer measures beam or a direct radiations. Is that clear? So in order to overcome that drawback, this pyrheliometer is being used. Sunlight enters the instrument through a window and is directed onto a thermopile, which converts heat into an electrical signal to be recorded. Is that clear? Applications of this pyrheliometer. Typical pyrheliometer measurement applications include scientific, meteorological, and climatical observations, material testing, research, and assessment of the efficiency of solar collectors and photovoltaic devices. These are the few applications of pyrheliometer. Then, what is the applications of pyranometer? Pyranometer is just to find out the diffuse radiations which are falling onto this earth. Same wise, whenever we want to plant a solar thermal power plants, you can see the solar thermal power plants grids as I have seen. It is in Pavagada. Pavagada is a very place near to Madhugiri or between Chalkere and uh, Madhugiri. There you get a place like Pavagada where you can see around 150 acres of land is been used for converting solar energy into electrical energy. Maybe in few other places also where we expect more solar radiations. Is it clear? So the usage pyrheliometers are typically mounted on a solar tracker. As the pyrheliometer only sees the solar disk, it needs to be placed. It needs to be placed on a device that follows the path of the sun. As usual, I was just talking about it just follows the path of the sun. Now, before I just proceed this, have you ever seen the solar panel systems which have been mounted uh, above this household application for water heating? In which direction usually it will be? In most of the cases, in which direction it will be? Will it be in east or west? It will be neither in east nor it will be in west. Only the possibility is it will be most of all, it will be in a north direction. It will not be in a east direction. It will not be in a west direction. It will be in a north direction. Even in the east, the solar radiation falls over here, and even in the west, it will fall on this solar panel. If you place it in west or if you place it in east, when the sun is setting, you don't get enough solar radiation for this. Is that clear? That is the reason why they always go for north or south orientations. Okay. Now let me show you over here. It is a it's a pyrheliometer. This is an acceptance angle. Acceptance angle means the solar radiations which are falling in between this angle. It may be around 60 degrees or 80 degrees, whatever it may be. This acceptance angle, which we will use it with the theta. Now, this acceptance angle, the solar radiations which are falling within this angle will be made to enter into the hollow tube. Now, at the entrance, there will be a protective lens. So, what happens because of this protective lens? Whatever the solar radiations which are entering into the tube will not be allowed to escape out. Once, if they have been restricted to going out of the hollow tube, what happens? It will create a heat. The meanwhile, the solar radiations which are falling over here will also be absorbed by a black body. This black body absorbs all the solar radiations and gets heated up. The temperature difference between this heat with the black body temperature difference is being measured by the thermocouple, which converts this heat into electrical energy. That indicates us what is the amount of solar radiations that are received on that particular orientation or in the place. Is it clear? Now, that is the reason why whenever we talk about, my dear friends, whether you have seen it or not, in flights or in rockets, they don't name it as a place. No, this is Haveri, that is Hubli. No, they don't. They always maintain with a latitude angles and degrees. Only because with respect to that they are going to launch or they are going to launch the missiles or they are going to launch the rocket or whatever it may be, it is all oriented with respect to the uh, the latitudes and the angles. Now, the third one, as per your syllabus, there are only three, and this is the third one, the sunshine recorder. This is the one which records the amount of sunshine at a given particular place. That is what we call it as a sunshine recorder. Pyranometer is the one which measures the diffuse radiation. Pyrheliometer is the one which measures a beam radiation, and the sunshine is the one which measures the sunshines. Okay, now a sunshine recorder is a device that records the amount of sunshine at a given location or a region at any time. The results provide information about the weather and climate as well as the temperature of a geographical area. Exactly. This information is useful in meteorology. What do you mean by meteorology? Meteorology is the one science which deals about climatical changes. That is what. Say, for example, what is the wind speed it is coming? What is the tsunami height it is coming? Or what is the rain is been expected? One department which is we call it as meteorology. It is there in Bangalore also, where you can they will their interest is only to forecast the rain and the wind speeds. That's it. Is it clear? So that is what study of those climatical changes which we call it as meteorology. Then the information useful in meteorology, science, agriculture, tourism, and other fields, they use it. Now based on this only, my dear friends, actually, even if you check in your mobile what is the temperature in some Delhi at the right now, it will give you. It is only because of all these instruments which are telling you. Is it clear? Now, a sunshine recorder is a meteorological instrument used for recording the amount of sunlight that a particular location receives throughout a day. Now, if you go one of few places, if you go to Jaipur or in any desert conditions, a morning sunrise will occur before 5 o'clock, and sunset happens at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the night. What about the sunrise and sunset in Haveri? It sunrises at 6 o'clock and sun sets at 6 o'clock. Based on, even if you go to Sydney or Melbourne, where the sun sets at 10 o'clock in the night. So this things keeps changing. Irrespective of that, if you want to find out what is the total amount of sunshine that has been recorded throughout a day, then the sunshine recorder will help you out to find out what is the amount of sunshine is been locating for complete a one day. A sunshine recorder is a meteorological instrument used for recording the amount of sunlight that a particular location receives throughout a day. That's okay. Inside the recorder's adjustable frame are two important pieces will be there. A, a paper strip and a glass sphere that can focus the sunlight strongly enough to shine the paper. Is it clear? The results provide the information about the weather and climate as well as the temperature of the geographic area. Now, before I just proceed with this, I will also tell you rectometer or some you might have seen earthquake. Soon after the earthquake or before the earthquake, they will get a graph. They will tell you what is the intensity of an earthquake it is going to happen, or what is the intensity of the earthquake that has been happened. How it is possible? They will give a graphical representation. What is the severity of that earthquake? Similarly, there will be a paper and there will be a glass sphere. Here also in the sunshine recorder, it will tell you what is the sunshine which was there in the morning and what was how it has been kept varying it. Something like this. ECG, usually you will see the heartbeats, right? Like this variations. So similarly, you will also get the variation in the sunshine from morning sunrise to the dusk. That is the sunset. So for that reason, there will be similar will be there. Now here, if you can see this, there is a spherical lens and there is a paper strip. Supports the paper strips and this a supported base. So this is how the sunshine recorder is being used. Is that clear? Now this will talks about the complete first module will get over by this time. Now, before I just end up the session, I would like to tell you quickly what all the things that we have highlighted over here in the first module. Now, in the first module, which deals about the energy sources, in this energy sources, we have discussed what is the economical, uh, how this energy will decide the economical growth of a country. That is the first thing. Second thing is what are the different energy sources which are available. There is a conventional and non-conventional. Before this non-conventional and conventional energy sources, we have also discussed the different types of energy sources on which any country's progress or economical status depends upon. Now, majorly, though there are hundreds of energy or resources are available on the earth, but still we are more dependent on the fossil fuels. The fossil fuels, which are nothing but coal, petroleum products, and natural gas, all these things, we depend on more of this. It is only because the immediate power that they generate is it clear? Now, ultimately, though we are depending more onto this fossil fuels, they are not environmental friendly because they pollute the environment more. That is the thing. Now, let me come back. So soon after that, we have also discussed what are the energy sources. In that, conventional energy sources are nothing but coal, oil shale, oil tar sands. These are all comes under the category of conventional energy sources. And the non-conventional energy sources. What are the non-conventional energy sources? Solar energy, wind energy, biomass energy, tidal energy, wave energy, ocean thermal energy conversion system, geothermal energy conversion system, which are all renewable every time. So these are all comes under the category of non-conventional energy sources. Now quickly, so soon you understand what is a conventional and non-conventional. We have also differentiated, we have discussed what is the difference between conventional and non-conventional energy sources. Conventional are also called as non-renewable, whereas non-conventional are also called as renewable energy sources. Now, my dear friends, no need to exercise to remember the differences. As I have already told you, if you basically understand what is the concept, what are conventional and what are non-conventional, if you understand this CS, NC and NCS, then you can easily list out more than 20 to 30 points difference between conventional and non-conventional energy sources. No need to exercise more. And then we have also discussed what is the need for non-conventional energy sources. Why we are looking out, why the complete world is looking out for non-conventional energy sources. It is only because the petroleum products or conventional products are getting exhausted within 40 to 50 or maybe within 80 years. Then we have to depend upon this. That's a clear. So that is the reason why we have. That is what we have all discussed in the first chapter. So soon after this, we have also in the first chapter itself, we have in depth we have understood how this geothermal energy works, how this OTEC works, how this wave, tidal, solar energy, all this works. We have discussed it. That is in the first chapter. In the second chapter, we have also discussed what are the solar radiations. What is the significance of solar radiations? Every time you please remember, solar radiations are also called as a neat or a clean energy source because their emission, their pollution in the environment is 0%. It is the only energy source from which the complete other energy sources have been formed, maybe directly or it may be an indirectly. Is that clear? So, before I forget, I would like to tell you, we have also discussed what are primary energy sources, what are the secondary energy sources, and also we have discussed what are commercial and non-commercial energy sources also. Is that clear? Now, let us come back in the second chapter. We have discussed a few definitions. We have tried to learn something about the sun. It is a huge power actually. May not be appropriate over here, irrespective of your differences, irrespective of if there is any human being who is staying on the earth, the one common factor which we worship is a sun. You may be some any person it may be. We always worship the sun. It is only because it is the ultimate power that what we can see it. Anybody can see, nobody can see the God. G for God and G for gravity. I always believe Gravity G, God is G. Neither we can see gravity nor we can see the God. But only thing is we can experience both the things. Similarly, if you can see any ultimate power in this world, I'm not talking about Rajinikanth or any heroes. I'm talking about any ultimate power, not Krish or not Rajinikanth. No, I'm just telling you only the ultimate power, ultimate energy that you can see it is only the sun. A superstar, I'm sorry, a star that is the sun, based on which the complete living beings on the earth is dependent. Okay, now we have discussed what is a beam radiation, what is a diffuse radiation, what is a solar constant, what are solar radiations, how this spectral distribution is there. Is that clear? What is an ozone layer? If the ozone layer doesn't happen, then what happens? How we are polluting, how severity of this acid rain is it clear how this global warming is happening? This is all because of human error or the pollution which has been happening. Is it clear? Then we have also discussed the instruments which measures the solar radiations. Pyranometer, which has been used to find out uh, the diffuse radiation. Pyranometer, which has been used to find out the beam radiations. And then sunshine recorder, which has been used to find out the total or overall sunshine recorded at a particular point, at a particular place for a complete day. That is what is the use of sunshine recorder. What we have all covered in the first module, and which includes the three chapters. Okay.